from that point on, I am the lawyer in the country for certain kind of people.
You no longer have to look for clients. Everybody's looking for you at this
I have
point.
more clients than any lawyer in the United States.
What happened from there?
Just one case after another. I became an expert in wiretap cases and represented a lot of people whose last name ended in vowels across the United States. I had cases in Miami, Philadelphia, Boston, New York, New Jersey, South Carolina, Macon, Georgia, of all places. Tried 4 cases in Macon. Omaha, Nebraska, represented a fellow by the name of Maxie the Little Giant Abramson. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Arizona, all over the place. And it was the nascency of wiretapping. And I was able to pick apart the government's procedures and was winning one case after another based on irregularities under the wiretap statute. Ultimately, I won so many cases, I taught them how to do it right. So I killed my own practice, in effect, as far as wiretaps were concerned. But in doing that, I represented all these people who were supposed reputed mobsters around the country. And whenever they got in trouble, when their children got in trouble, their relatives got in trouble, I got the phone call.
Now, did you become friends with these mobsters or wise guys you call them?
How do you define friends?
So, for instance, like, was it, what are you doing Friday night? Let's go to dinner. We're not talking business. Hey, what are you doing this week? Let's go to watch a Yankees game.
All business, except when I was lucky enough to win a case. We went out to dinner and we celebrated. But
after you won a case, but there was nothing that didn't have to.
No, because my wife taught me a lesson early on. She said, "Don't become your client." I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "If you are like your clients, and not that they're bad people, they were very charming, they were very nice, very respectful, but the judges looked at them differently." And she was saying, if the judges look at you as they do your clients, you'll not have any credibility with it. So the clients understood that, and we did not have social relationships. We had friendly relationships, but not social.
Why don't you share the story on what happened when O.J.'s attorney contacted you in 1994?
Well, no, it wasn't an attorney. It was interesting.
One of his associates?
Yeah, I had a problem. A judge had ordered me to turn over financial transactions, records of financial transactions with one of my clients. And I knew what the law was in the Ninth Circuit, that financial transaction is not covered by the attorney-client privilege. It's only the communication between the attorney and the client. I knew that, but I felt that was a bad law. So I refused to turn it over. And the government brought a motion to hold me in contempt of court. And it was a serious business because they wanted me to be jailed forthwith. I said, "What does forthwith mean?" They said, "Right away." The judge said, "Well, we'll give them a chance to appeal it." And he said, "But if you lose the appeal, bring your toothbrush." I was under that cloud. I had a case in Boston. I went up there, my wife joined me, and we're in the hotel room, nice hotel, and the TV's on. What's this? A white Suburban going up and down the highways in Los Angeles? What's the story here? And they were saying that O.J. Simpson was being followed and chased as related to a murder that took place in the Westwood area. And just as we're watching it on TV, I get a phone call from a fellow by the name of West, who represents himself as an agent of O.J. Simpson's, and they want me to come out to Los Angeles immediately to represent him, and they were going to send me a $25,000 retainer. So I said, "I can't." They said, "What do you mean you can't?" I said, "I can't. I have my own problems, and I'm not going to take on somebody else's problems until I resolve my own." So I had found out that the first lawyer who got the phone call was Howard Weitzman, another excellent lawyer who represented DeLorean on the cocaine case and won it. And then after I passed, I understand that Robert Shapiro got the phone call. He brought in F. Lee Bailey and then Johnny Cochran, so he had a great team. I would have loved to have had that case, but you know, you have to do what's right by people, and I just didn't have the time, based on my own problems, to take on somebody else's.
If you would have taken it, you think the results would have been the same?
I think that the case was decided the moment the case was moved from Westwood to downtown Los Angeles. I think that the folks who lived in downtown Los Angeles looked at O.J. Simpson as a deity, and he could do no wrong. He was a hero of the community, had gone to school down there, a great football player, popular public figure running through the airport, jumping over suitcases and everything in a single bound, and they weren't about to hurt him. And I don't know whether anyone could have lost the case.
Shapiro, they asked him, they said, "Do you think he did the crime?" He says, "Let me put it to you this way. I haven't even told my wife what I think about this. That was his answer.
Yes.
He says, I've never even brought it up.
Well, he doesn't really talk to his wife. They're not that friendly. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. He has a lovely wife, too. She knows that. So I understand what you're saying.
So let me ask you another question. This is a part of that world, because when I got out of the military, you know, I didn't want to go to college. But if I was going to go to college to become anything, I was going to become an attorney.
You would have been a great lawyer.
That would be a direction I would want to go
Yes.
to. But you know the saying that's, look, you can get away with murder if you have enough money and the right attorney backing you up. How much truth is there behind that statement?
Well, you know, we're a capitalistic society, and the way that we reward excellence is by paying somebody. And excellent attorneys make a very good living. They charge a substantial amount of money for their representatives' services. So I think you're probably, if you have a lot of money, you're going to get a better lawyer than somebody who doesn't have as much money. But on the other hand, I've seen some great public defenders who make a meager salary in the scheme of things, put their life into a case and do as good a job as the most expensive lawyer in the world. So I think, as a rule of thumb, you're probably right. Money buys an awful lot. It buys investigators. It buys the ability to have exhibits. It buys time.
Yeah.
In the sense that when you're getting paid, you can take as much time as a client could afford you to take to properly prepare. Whereas these poor public defenders, they're overburdened and they have to move cases in and out. But I think that generally is a good rule of thumb.